Cats in their road blues, the Cards sporting the red jerseys at home today. And whistle before the tip.
Well, 1 second came off the clock before we even tossed the basketball. Good catch by Eric Bruton,
yes.
a part of our officiating
You know
crew.
they want the full 40 minutes for this rivalry. Eric Bruton, Karen Prieto, and Bruce Morris, the striped shirts today. And the first possession for Kentucky.
Kiana Smith, number 14 in red, will have the first opportunity on Ryan Howard, but this is a switching man-to-man defense by the Cardinals.
The return of number 44, Dre'Ana Edwards, is big for Kentucky today. She missed their last game, a loss to DePaul, and there she is called for the walk.
She served a one-game suspension for not upholding the academic standards of the program by head coach Kyra Elzy.
Cardinals thus far have been hanging their hat on their defense. This group hoping to bust out a little bit offensively. But most opponents don't hit the 50-point mark against the Vills so far this year. Edwards off the bounce and the ball fake. Cochran got a piece of it, and Dre'Ana able to clean it up.
Yeah, Dre'Ana Edwards gives them energy. She gives them a motor on the glass. She can fill it up, and 19 points a game to go alongside Ryan Howard's numbers.
Runner is good from one of the new additions for Louisville, Chelsea Hall, the grad transfer from Vanderbilt.
This is Ryan Howard, number 10 in blue, being guarded by Kiana Smith, a senior for Louisville. And they'll look to trap her off a ball screen.
They really want to test that left hand as well, don't they,
Yeah,
Debbie?
they're going to push her left as much as they can.
Jasmine Massengill, no, the storyline to date for Kentucky from long range is not a good one. They have not been shooting it well from outside, as Enxler missed that one badly.
You know, I'm not a big fan of one pass in the shot. Not a good start here for Louisville.
And a couple of turnovers for Kentucky. And head coach Kyra Elzy, the former assistant, promoted to head coach last year. This is her first taste of this rivalry matchup. These two, with all the COVID scheduling situations last year, did not meet. So this the 56th time they've gotten together. UK the advantage in the series. And that's a terrific start for Haley Van Lith, who's looking to up her scoring numbers.
She comes into the game only making 4 threes on the season, but we talked to her at shoot-around this morning, and she has put a lot of time in, and she's got confidence in her reps.
How about the big girl playing a little point? Misses the shot, and now a breakout the other way for Kentucky, and it's Robin Benton.
So, Beth, that's a 4-point swing. You got a 4-on-1, and you don't make a layup, and Louisville gives up a transition bucket the other way. See, those little details are going to matter for 40 minutes in this game.
Enxler swings it over to Hall, and she's hit a couple here early as the two transfers combo on that one. Emily, the stud out of New York City, who had been at Syracuse prior to this season.
Well, and Chelsea Hall is a 4-year starter at guard at Vanderbilt as a graduate student, transfers here to Louisville. And she's a 1,000-point scorer, so she can shoot it as well.
Howard's first look, short. A good box out for Kiana Smith. And another missed layup. That's 3 shots for Cochran off the mark so far.
3 shots. I don't think she's hit the rim yet. You know, that's part of what this rivalry does to you, Beth. It speeds you up a little bit in the early part of the game.
Jeff Walls, his 14th rivalry game with the Cats and the Cards. He's 7-6 in his 15th year now here in Louisville. 3 trips to the Final Four, 2 times to the national championship game.
Kentucky goes to their horn set.
Here is Howard, the 2-time All-American, up at the top. Jada Walker off the cross. Shot clock winding down. The step back for Ryan Howard is good.
See, that's smart because Louisville switch it 1 through 5. And when Ryan Howard gets that matchup on Olivia Cochran, she's looked to score the last 2 possessions.
Massengill trying to deny Van Lith the ball. The other Cards looking for a probing drive. The mid-range is no good. Kept alive by Cochran.
It's a good thing Hall met that pass, or that was a pick 6.
Olivia called for the offensive foul. Edwards off the mark. And here's Smith. Louisville looking to push. Cochran. And one. Finally got one to go.
Yeah, you got to play through Olivia Cochran. She could be a matchup problem with her back to the basket inside. This is a great post inside. Gets to the front of the rim and draws personal foul number 1 on Ryan Howard. Clearly a foul on the arm.
Cochran completes the three-point play. She'll check out. Liz Dixon will come on, the senior from Memphis.
See, I like this substitution right now to counter with Olivia Owens. Olivia Owens comes in as a 6'4" redshirt junior. This is another go-to opportunity for Louisville to take advantage of the skill set of Liz Dixon on the block.
Howard checked by Enxler. Trying to use that screen, and Enxler had the arm bar on her.
Well, there's 2 whistles on that, so she definitely had her hands on Ryan Howard. And see what Kyra Elzy, the head coach for Kentucky, is doing is she's bringing that big to set that screen, knowing that Louisville's going to switch. So she's putting Ryan Howard in a position to get a switch to a big.
Runs her through the baseline screen. Now it's Van Lith defending on her, and here comes that screen. Van Lith stays with her. Forces her to give it up. Shot is blocked on the drive. Front rim, and here comes Louisville. Enxler with the cross into the lane. The scoop, no. Through traffic, Walker fouled on the drive.
Louisville defense at the rim, protecting inside. Emily Enxler with a stop.
Look at the celebration for the Louisville undefeated volleyball team. They're going to play for the ship, folks. National semifinals next weekend in Columbus. As the overall #1 seed in the tournament, they beat Georgia Tech in the Elite Eight last night, so they will face Wisconsin in the semis. Another first-timer, Pittsburgh, on to the semis, as well as Nebraska, a 10 seed. They stunned Texas in Austin last night.
2 ACC, 2 Big Ten. You know what? We were there last night and watched some of that action at Freedom Hall. Man, they are so athletic.
Oh, it's electric.
It's so fun. The crowd was awesome. But I can only take 3 games of volleyball, Beth, because the athleticism in there starts to wear on me because we don't see it out here as much sometimes.
You want them playing basketball, do you?
I want them playing hoops.
Wouldn't that be something after Kentucky won the national championship last year if Louisville can keep it in state this year?
It was really fun to be in there last night.
Both these sides perhaps feeling some of the nerves of this rivalry matchup. The shooting not spectacular to start, and we'll see if that changes a bit. Second and one opportunity for Louisville.
Now, Kiana Smith is their best three-point shooter by percentage and makes, but she sets it up by driving down the lane line, going off the wrong foot, high off the glass. Not worried about the contact. You know, one of the things that Haley Van Lith told us today at shoot-around is the first 30 minutes of practice the last week has been handling contact layups. So every day they're trying to score against contact in the paint. It's something they're working on, and they're getting better at it. Should help them get to the free throw line, which they've only been going to the line 8 times a game on the average.
Same for their opponents. So Louisville fans haven't seen a lot of free throw attempts on the year. They get the extra possession here off of the miss. Van Lith to inbound, all ACC freshman team member last year. Top 10 recruit coming out of high school, has spent a lot of her summertime with USA basketball. Here she is, number 10 in red. Off the curl, the floater won't go. And it will stay this end. Coach Elsie, of course, played for Pat Summitt. In her days, twice a national champion at Tennessee. The lay-in is good on the inbound to Enxler.
That's the out-of-bounds play that Jeff Walls was working on at shoot-around today. And I believe he might have stole that from Doug Bruno. When I was watching the DePaul game, I think Doug Bruno ran that same set against Kentucky.
Well, it worked both times. Lay-in is good from Walker. That ends a 7-0 run for the Cards.
Here comes some full court pressure. Both these teams like to play 94-50.
Reach-in foul on Robin Benton.
This is just a good take again by Jada Williams, the freshman, the lefty. Fearless getting inside, Jada Walker.
Freshman from Richmond, Virginia. Smith picked up the dribble. Everybody out on the perimeter to start this offensive set. Van Lith walked, tried to get her puppies right with the shot clock winding down.
Good D by Kentucky. Just doing a really good job of being there on the catch, forcing Louisville's offense out to the top of the floor, not letting them get in the paint. I think that's going to be important for Kentucky moving forward, is not to let Louisville get to the free throw line and not to give them points in the paint, because they can't make up for it on the other end with their three-point shooting, right? So you got to neutralize your inability to shoot the three ball very well right now.
Hall working off the dribble. Offensive stick back for Liz Dixon. Walker again, slicing her way through the D for the lay-in.
Jada Walker not worried about her first appearance in the rivalry. One of the things Kyra Elsie told us today at shoot-around is they pumped in some noise at practice yesterday, and it really has helped Jada Walker adjust to this big crowd, changing some of their signals and their hand signals over there on what they're going to call, how they're calling things, so that it's easier for her to understand.
There's Ryan Howard for three. Of course, that also comes into play for the sophomores, too, because with the no crowds and limited crowds the last couple of years, Van Lith was telling us this is their first big packed house game she's playing in.
It's so great to have the fans back.
Oh, spectacular.
So great to go to that 7 a.m. shoot-around. I love it. See, everything's on top right now. Nothing going inside.
Another good defensive set right there for Kentucky. Edwards to Walker. She'll try from deep. Weak side Enxler. Step back won't fall for Liz.
Well, we've gone up and down a little bit. Teams look a little fatigued.
Yeah.
Kentucky looks a little tired.
Final minute of the quarter. I'm trying to get Edwards a touch inside, and Van Lith jumps into the passing lane. Haley takes the bump and will go to the line.
And you can't knock her off her line. Look at her take that contact. That's what she said they've been working on. And great anticipation on the defensive end of the floor. You could see Treasure Hunt was tired. She was standing up. She makes a lazy uphill pass, and Van Lith is ready.
.78% free throw shooter on the season. Well, don't forget the second game of the 20th annual Women's Jimmy V Classic coming up on ESPN at 3 Eastern. It's Maryland and South Carolina, the undefeated and top-ranked Gamecocks, looking every bit the national championship contender. Maryland still trying to work through some injury issues early on in the year. If you're on the go today, it's also available on your app. And please don't forget to donate to the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Go to v.org.
South Carolina already has 3 wins over top 10. And you're right, Maryland's not been 100% all season. Diamond Miller still questionable. But Ashley Owusu can play.
They will call the travel in traffic on Howard.
This is just a good job of gapping up Ryan Howard. Look, Chelsea Hall doing a good job of moving her feet. Then you see Mikasa Robinson step into the gap. Ryan Howard should be happy that was a travel and not a charge call.
12.8 to go in the quarter. Hall and Van Lith setting it up for Haley. Gets the shot up in time. Short. Tips back out top, and that one won't count. 19-13, Louisville with the lead over Kentucky. Bob Valvano is going to join us when we come back.
Okay.
Familiar to Louisville fans. Bob Valvano, thanks so much for being with us.
You and I have worked together.
Yes,
so
we have.
I've never worked with this lady over here.
You're fortunate in that regard, Bob.
Come on, Bob. You and I, we go way back.
We
right?
do, though. Yes, we do.
What, I mean, for all of us, we have memories of your brother and moments, especially during this Jimmy V Classic week. What comes to mind for you in a week like this?
Well, I'll tell you what strikes me now is a little different than when it first started. Is think about how many years ago it's been now that he gave the speech and that he won the championship. That's like a generation ago, and yet people still remember. And we just got back from the Garden for the men's classic there. When that speech comes on TV on the big jumbotron, there everybody stops what they're doing and watches, which in New York is saying something. So that's humbling. I love the fact his spirit is still alive. And he still inspires people to fight the disease, and inspired me. I mean, I've got my own battle that I've been fighting,
right.
and I now understand on a smaller scale what he went through, because I've had people write me and say it's nice to see you doing well. It's nice to see Louisville make a steal.
Smith goes the distance for the lane.
Good finish.
So, Bob, your niece Nicole is a very good friend of mine, who's Jim's oldest daughter, and I always text her during this week and I say, how you doing? And she says, I have one big cry and then I move on. How do you handle it?
Well, I've had my share of crying. I think Louisville's all of a sudden become defensive stoppers here. Yes, can't interrupt and drive to the goal.
Smith off the mark.
But I've heard the speech so many times. It still moves me, but I could do it. Would you like me to do it? I can do it for you right now. I mean, I've heard it so often. But I just, every time I hear it, I look for a little something different. I catch a little different inflection in his voice, or I look at how people react. I look at kids who may be hearing it like for the first time, like 10-year-olds, and they're looking at the screen. I think some of them are saying, who is that? but the words resonate, and I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah. Well, and it's amazing, you talked about Nicole and how some of the things that Jim did and inspired on that day have helped, people that everybody knows, even in his own family, even in our ESPN family. Robin Roberts has spoken of it. So has Holly Rowe. How, dollars that Jimmy V helped raise may have been instrumental in their ability to fight the disease.
I'll give you one quick commercial. I had stage 4 leukemia, and I had an aunt who passed from it. It was an awful, awful thing. I take 2 drugs. One is, I keep touching, this is my port, so it's nice to know it's still there. I take one of the drugs intravenously, and one is a tablet, and I went, and in 4.5 months it went into complete remission, and it's because of those 2 drugs. And one was invented in 2018, and one was invented in 2015.
Wow.
So that is research. That's what research does. And it's certainly not all just the V Foundation, but when you give money to research, you really do save people's lives. It's amazing.
The bench for Louisville having a factor right here, doing a nice job changing the tempo or the rhythm of the game.
Whenever you see a rivalry game, you see so much energy on defense, because that's where it channels itself. And just Louisville's been pretty good defensively. As soon as I say that, they give up a 3.
Well, that's only the second 3 that she has made all season after going 1 for 14 coming into the game. So that's a welcome sight for Kentucky.
Beth Mowens, Debbie Antonelli, Bob Valvano joining us courtside here in Louisville today at our Jimmy V Women's Classic.
So, Bob, I've always wanted to know this. Rocco and Angelina raised Nikki, Bobby, and Jimmy. Do you guys rule the neighborhood, or how did that go?
Well, they used to give me all sorts of garbage because they grew up in Queens, and our family owned the block. Literally, my grandfather owned all the houses on the block. When we moved to Long Island, they all called me the soft suburban kid. We were out on the island. I had a yard. I had an air conditioner in my room. Jim used to like to say they had one fan they had to try and ricochet off 9 doors to get so everybody could get a little breeze. So they ruled the neighborhood. I was a little spoiled, but I was so close with both of them, and they were. It's amazing when the abuse they gave me that I still love them so much as the youngest child.
Well, not only all that he's done, in terms of cancer research. By the way, to donate to the V Foundation for Cancer Research, go to v.org. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research for an entire generation of Americans around sports. I mean, he personified the underdog, with him racing around the court looking for somebody to hug after that national championship.
Yeah, that was a great story. And they got away with a walk there. But the thing that I'm struck by is, to finish in the corner there, how much that speech resonated with all sorts of people, not just cancer patients. People may have lost their job or had some financial difficulty, and God knows in this state right now, boy, do we have people dealing with difficulty with that tornado that went through. So, you don't have to look very far to find people who are struggling with things, and his speech resonates with all sorts of people, and I love that too.
Well, Jeff is upset. Ryan Howard trying to back Mikasa Robinson down, and there's a foul on Robinson.
I'm not sure.
And there was a little shoving going on.
There was a bit of an exchange there between Robinson and Howard involving the basketball. You see Ryan tried to give it to Mikasa, who tried to give it right back.
Well, when you're that far away from the basket and you're outside that the 3-foot area around the lane, you're not considered a post player. So Mikasa Robinson putting her hands on Ryan Howard is a foul.
The play is under review for a possible unobserved foul.
If that happened in the post, that would be a different way of calling it. You can put the arm bar on there.
Yeah, so what he just said was they are looking at the possibility of another foul after the play.
Right,
and so I believe Eric Bruton and company are going to look at this exchange right here.
Well, Ryan Howard handed her the ball, and Mikasa Robinson gave it back to her. I'd say play on.
Yeah.
Nothing much there.
Yeah.
But good to look at it in this environment, at this rivalry, at this point in the game, just to get the coaches to get their players to refocus on what they're supposed to be doing.
We have a local, to get back to do my quick commercial, we have a local arm of the V Foundation here called Kentuckiana Friends of V, and we work very closely with the V Foundation. one of the things it lets us do, though, is it lets us target the money to local research projects. Like there's a really good research institution here at University of Louisville. There's a terrific one at the University of Kentucky called the Markey Center. The one here is called the Brown Center. And so we earmark research projects at both of those so that people who give the money here can see some of that money stay right in the community here. And I think that's important to people. Because I'll tell you, I mean, I don't know, I'm a little older than you guys, unfortunately, but when I was a kid, you heard somebody had cancer. It was kind of like, you know, you were waiting to find out when they were going to die. I hate to say it, but now it's not like that at all. You look at people who are thriving and recovering and in remission, and it's a really wonderful thing. The researchers are making a huge difference.
17 million cancer survivors in the U.S., and that number is expected to go
up.
up.
We have a technical foul on red 5 for taunting after the foul is called. We will now go into immediate timeout.
So a technical foul called on Louisville. Back in a moment.
It should have been both or nobody.
Good with Bob? Are we?
Yeah, am I leaving? You want to say goodbye to me, or am I?
Yeah, I think we're.
Think we're. Okay,
yeah,
thanks, guys.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
Now you can sit in the people can sit again. All right, get out of that next one now.
I know. Taking one for the team. Scooch that way a little bit. There we go. There we go.
Okay, I don't like that because she initiated
That's awful. That's awful. Yes. Thank you.
The only problem
Sorry
is
about
I don't
my
know
hieroglyphics.
what happens in the game. Who's in the studio?
Right now, she's watching.
And do we get mixed minus?
There was no need to even look at that.
No, and Ryan Howard initiated it.
Go
so
talk to the two and say, chill out.
Yeah. It's Bruton, man.
Yeah.
Kelsey. So that's a personal foul on her, and
who's on the call for the game after us? Courtney Lyle, Carolyn. Look at Lyle doing double duty. Wait a minute, Lobo's in the studio. That means I can. She likes when I sing my songs. It's tricky to rock or rhyme, it's right on time, it's tricky.
I don't really.
That's when you
Enjoy
say
it.
it's tricky, 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 tricky. Work, work, work.
Nope.
In total agreement. In a rivalry game, take the two aside and say, chill out, right? I mean, there was no...
Yeah, no, and actually Ryan Howard initiated it.
Yes.
She handed the ball to Mikasa after that foul. So, if anything, it should have been, if you're going to call one tech, it should have been two, or you should have just left it alone,
Should have
which is
just,
exactly what I would have done if I had the stripes on.
Looked to be just a you did it, no you did it type of situation that could have gone a lot more uneventful than that. At any case, 25-19, Louisville with the lead over Kentucky.
You know, all you did is get the house full of red
Oh,
fired up.
now
Now they're red in
revved
the
up.
face.
Rebecca, nice use of red in the face. Rebecca mentioned the 10 turnovers. That's helped Louisville score 11 points. 6 for Howard, 5 for Hall, the 2 leading scorers.
So Mikasa Robinson, knowing what a competitor she is, she probably went over there to Jeff Wells and said, we ain't switching anymore. I got Ryan Howard.
She does have 2, because that was also a personal foul. And the 3 ball is good for Kentucky. They were 0 for 14 in that DePaul loss, so anything in that department is gravy for them.
Yeah, they came into this game in their losses shooting 4 for 27 from the 3-point line.
Hall hangs and hits. And the steal. Couldn't convert, but ripped away by Smith. Kiana and Alana are out there together in the backcourt now. Triple. Good box out for Owens. Pull up, Massengill, and a foul. And I think that's going to be called on Kentucky off the ball. And it is on Owens underneath. Hey, later today, Colin Gillespie and number 6 Villanova are in Waco to take on undefeated number 2 Baylor. That's at 3 o'clock on ABC. That's big for Baylor. They could bump up to number 1 with Purdue's loss this week. Great to have Dickie V back courtside for that one, as he continues his fight against cancer. Cochran. Alana Smith. Good.
Well, she's playing with a lot of confidence. She has given them some nice minutes this season.
Timeout called by Kentucky. They're down 8. 5 to go here in the first half. Yeah, well, because they had a couple of fast. Well, they had 2 steals and a fast break.
It was the bench that came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with that call at all.
No need for that.
We said that before they delivered the.
Just no need. And to pick her. Well, 30-22, Louisville. Ranked 7th in the country with the lead over number 14 Kentucky. 56th meeting between these rivals, a 34-21 edge for the Cats. But the Cards have won the last 4 meetings.
Well, it's time for Ryan Howard to start hunting a few shots. She's only taken 4 attempts. She's 2 for 4 from the floor. She's got a 3 and a couple of free throw attempts. And I think she's got to look to be more aggressive. Now, if I'm Kentucky, I'm looking to go backdoor right now, because you know Louisville is an on-the-line, up-the-line defensive team coming off a timeout. And look for their changing defense here.
Smith defending on Walker. Here's Edwards, and now Howard.
They just clear it out for Howard.
She doesn't take that offer.
She wasn't even looking to score.
And the pull-up is good. Robin Benton. Coming off a 22-point performance against DePaul, and Cochran misses her 4th layup of the day. She has been hustling up and down the floor, Debbie, just not rewarding herself. Well, nice pick right there by Cochran, who took a hit on the head. And the lane is good for Benton.
Well, that's a good timeout by Kyra Elsie. Her team comes out of that timeout and gets aggressive scoring. But it's not Ryan Howard, it's others scoring. And Ryan Howard may be picking and choosing. As we look at Olivia Cochran, who's on the floor after getting that deflection.
And will help Cochran to her feet. She's been hustling out there in this first half. Looks like she slammed into the knee of Engstler, diving for the loose ball. Liz Dixon will replace her on the floor.
You know, both these teams like full court pressure, but we've only seen that off a situational, defense, not a full court pressure that we've seen them play in other games. They're getting good in the quarter court right here, Kentucky.
Boy, the Cats really cranking it up on defense, but they lost the shooter, Van Lith, who's off the mark. Walker. They'll swing it around to Howard, open look for three. That won't go. One and done on that trip.
Well, with this lineup on the floor for both teams, with the exception of Elizabeth Dixon, you don't need to throw the outlet. You can get into your transition game quickly.
Van Lith with the emotion after she knocked it out of bounds off of Kentucky.
Well, that is definitely off Kentucky, but you're not allowed to review that. That's a great hustle play by Haley Van Lith. See, this is the kind of stuff that Jeff Walz is going to go into the locker room with at halftime, telling his team, hey, we got to focus right now on the detail because this crowd's on fire.
Well, they gave the ball to Kentucky.
There's that back door.
Howard with the lay-in.
Great cut. What a timeout by Kyra Elzy.
Back to a 2-point game, 6 in a row for UK. And they've got the turnover.
This is a terrific feed right here. That's that back door. Kiana Smith up the line. She's expecting help at the rim.
Two to tie, 3 for their first lead since early in the game, and a held ball here. Cats will keep.
Jump ball possession stays with Kentucky. Checking in for the Cardinals, number 2, Alana Smith. She replaces number 14, Kiana Smith.
How about the improvement there? 50% in three-point range. Still, the turnover's an issue.
Confusion, Beth, by Louisville. Alana Smith comes in the game. They're trying to figure out who's matching up with whom, and the ball gets inbounded, and Treasure Hunt makes a great read.
46% from the line for Treasure this year. The sophomore from Chattanooga misses on the first. First of our doubleheader with South Carolina and Maryland coming up. Aaliyah Boston, certainly one of the front runners for National Player of the Year honors. Ashley Owusu making a run at All-American honors as well from Maryland.
Keep your eye on Zaya Cook. She could have a big game in this matchup with Maryland because of the pace that Maryland's going to want to play with, and South Carolina is certainly capable of running with them. South Carolina, one of the better defensive teams in the country. Maryland, one of the better offensive teams. It's going to be fun to watch.
One of Emily Engstler's old teammates at Syracuse, Camila Cardosa, now with the Gamecocks. Offensive rebound, Dixon. And it blocked by Howard. Edwards weaving her way into the lane. Tries to muscle it up, and Dixon with the block. Hunt left open. Hall looks to push and a foul.
That might not be a bad foul right there by Edwards, just to stop the transition game right here. Look at the block by Howard.
And then one for Dixon. Cochran back into the game now for Louisville after the injury. 2 minutes to go in the half.
This is part of the Princeton offense that Jeff Walz installed about a month before the season started. You know, when you lose Dana Evans, as Haley Van Lith gets called for double dribble, When you lose the two-time ACC Player of the Year, Dana Evans, and 20 points a game, you have to sometimes remake your offense, and that's what Jeff Wells has with his personnel.
Howard.
Oh, good slip.
Nice slip of the screen. Edwards lays it in with the left, and it's even at 30. 8-0 run for Kentucky. Louisville has hit just one of its last 8 shots in the last 4 minutes. Hall off the bounce. Good.
Explosive first step by Chelsea Hall. Right now, Louisville needs to lock in and play really good, solid, not be risky on the defensive end because they've been able to get beat backdoor. They've been beat on a slip. Here's another backdoor.
Off the window for Dreana Edwards.
I think Louisville's ball pressure has to be better. You've got to take that window away so they can't see. And your weak side's got to be more alert.
Good balanced attack for Kentucky, shooting 52% here in the first half. In this final minute, Van Lith, another missed layup. And now Kentucky looking for the lead.
It's about a 9-second differential on the clock.
Edwards blocked by Cochran.
This is a good take right here. Look at the recovery, though, by Cochran to be able to make that defensive play and allow her team to set their D. That's going to be a technical foul, I believe, on Olivia Cochran for taunting. She gave a little stare down to Dreana Edwards. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, focus right here, Beth. I don't think she said anything. I think she gave her the stare down because I was watching it.
Wow.
I mean, that's
a couple of whistles that
it's an emphasis, right?
We disagree with, right?
Right, it's an emphasis, but really there's nothing there.
No. Howard gets one of the two for the 1-point lead. Two fouls now, by the way, on Cochran.
Last possession. Remember, we said Ryan Howard told me she likes a ball screen in a situation like this.
Working that clock. Howard's on the right side of the lane. Now she comes to get the ball. Almost had it stripped by Ensler. Makes her take a tough shot off the mark. Chance Van Lith, the heave, will come up short. UK finishes with a flourish, and they will take the 33-32 lead into the locker room as we get you back to the studio with Kelsey Riggs, Rebecca Lobo, and Nikki Fargas.
I think that's a little bit sensitive. I think Eric's a little sensitive.
Wow.
Kentucky needs to take care of the ball better, and Louisville on the defensive end needs to get their focus where it needs to be and play tough on the defensive end and not give Kentucky those back doors or those slips to the rim. Try to keep them out of the paint.
Kentucky shooting close to 50%. Louisville cold 35%. And then they'll turn it over here off of the miss.
Emily Ensler didn't want to pick it up because she claimed she was out of bounds and she couldn't be the next one to touch it. So Kiana Smith again on Ryan Howard. Good D by Cochran.
Has not shot well today, but she's getting blocks, she's getting assists, she's getting steals as Cochran. Shot clock winding down. Howard has to launch. Edwards around and out after Hunt was able to keep it alive.
This has turned into a quarter-court game where I anticipated this to be an up-tempo. Both teams pressing, both stretching. I thought Louisville might try to, use some of their depth, but they've gone 8 deep, and Kentucky's gone 7 deep. That's about as deep as Kentucky's going to go.
3 ball is good. Kiana Smith, the senior from California.
Full court, man-to-man. Louisville started the game switching 1 through 5. They've come with a lot of different looks. There's a hard hedge and an under.
Benton turned back around, and now will pull up and pop. Air ball.
So both teams start off with air balls. Louisville's going to have to crank up their D to get some easy buckets.
Enksler trying to wrap it around the other side. Missed it. Here comes Hunt with the crossover. Goes to the left side, and that won't fall. Van Lith with her head up. 3 on 2, and a little too far out in front of Cochran.
I really thought Louisville's focus just end the half was questionable, and I think Jeff Walls is wondering, as he sits over there with his legs crossed, that's not a good sign. Frustrated with his team's decision making.
Sloppy start for both sides to this second half. Edwards, no good. Smith, Hall, and now Van Lith. Cochran faces up and knocks it down.
Nice reverse pivot by Cochran. The ball got to 2 sides and then it went in. That's a good possession by the Louisville offense. Good maturity in that possession.
Baseline and a foul called on the floor.
This is a great find on the backside by Edwards. Drops it off to Benton, who's had a heck of a first half.
Now inbound underneath.
Louisville will switch. That quick release by Ryan Howard. She really hasn't had a lot of separation from the Louisville defense.
Just 3 of 9 from the floor.
I know she likes the screen and roll action. I know she likes a ball screen. And let's see if Kentucky might put her in a little bit more of those actions and then clear out a side and let them go 2-man. I know they like to do some of that in their offense.
Five on the shot clock. Massengill to beat the buzzer. And here comes Van Lith, and a foul going to be called on the rebound on Benton.
Really good quarter-court defense that time by Louisville. Everybody with high hands on the catch, forcing a late shot clock and not allowing Ryan Howard to get the ball in a late shot clock situation. I'm waiting for Ryan Howard to insert herself. I'm waiting for her to. She's the back-to-back SEC Player of the Year. She's one of the great players in the history of Kentucky basketball. She's a 2-time All-American.
Has yet to put her mark on this one. Van Lith looking for a lane to the bucket. Offensive foul. That's her second.
This play starts outside the lower defensive box. Jasmine Massagill does a great job of obtaining legal guarding position. 2 feet on the floor facing the opponent, and you can move obliquely to absorb the contact. Great help from the weak side by Enxler that time.
Got a hand on it to knock it loose. Walker trying to take advantage of the mismatch and is called for the walk. Solid defense from Cochran.
You know, Beth, when we talked to Jeff Wells this morning at shoot-around, we asked him, why is his defense so much better this year than what it was last year? And he said Emily Enxler. Her length, and she's still learning how to play man-to-man defense. Remember, she came from a Syracuse program that only played 2-3 zone.
Yep. The clear out for Smith, gets her feet in the paint. Cochran, another possession. Smith will try from downtown. Edwards got it weak side.
Trey Edwards is a player they really missed in that DePaul game, in the last game that they played where they lost 94-85. She's got some skills now. She's from the three-point line all the way into the rim.
Yeah, she's good for close to 20 points, 8 rebounds a night. 5 on the shot clock, under 5 minutes to go in the quarter. Howard, couple of tough shots forced on her at the end of the shot clock.
And they make her go left. That's exactly what the Louisville defensive game plan is designed to do. See, that's too quick.
Benton.
That's too quick. Come on now.
It has been a struggle to even find the rim, much less the bottom of the net here in the third. Smith the basket and the quick timeout for Louisville. They don't have a point.
National Assistant Coach of the Year, Stephanie Norman, who told us before the game her son Parker, who is a student here at Louisville, grabbed a couple of his buddies and some pickup trucks and some chainsaws and headed out west to Mayfield so they could help with the recovery effort with their camping gear. They don't plan on coming back for about 5 or 6 days. And Stephanie obviously very proud of her son and his initiative to grab some of his buddies and head out west to help.
Tremendous support to try and help out as best that folks can. A very emotional few days here in the state of Kentucky. And a whistle and a traveling violation on Kentucky. The Cats still scoreless here in the third with Louisville in front.
The ball where it needs to go. She's a situational point guard who understands time and score. She's crafty, she's flashy, and she has that wow factor with the ball in her hands. Really fun to watch, and a part of the reason why Maryland is such an up-tempo team offensively.
Well, when they are at 100%, they're good for 80, 90 points a night. And that's been the way at Maryland. Will they have the firepower coming up next to take down undefeated South Carolina? They have looked so good. They've looked like, you know, they're already playing January, February type of basketball, and it was still November.
Their second team is better than a good portion of the teams they're going to play on their schedule. But they've played a hard schedule. So is Maryland. So it should be really fun to watch that game next.
All right, so here's our situation. In the third quarter, 7-0 Louisville. Kentucky is 0 for 9. They do not have a point yet in this third quarter after they led by 1 at the break. And the tally now is up to 11 missed shots in a row, dating back to the end of the first half.
Yeah, I'm looking for that Ryan Howard alpha on my scouting report that I talked about. This is a strong take right here by the freshman. turns the corner. She's left-handed. She's going to the paint to score. Her scouting report is she's going to try to score when she gets inside, not look to distribute. She's been tough off the bounce today.
Walker able to knock down the first, 66% on the season for Jada.
High school teammates with Jada Boyd from NC State. And then the Wolfpack number 2 in the country.
So they finally get some points up on the board here in the second half. Back to a 4-point game.
And the ball moving now, coming off the timeout. Much better cadence to this possession for Louisville.
Around and out, Noriko Kono.
Well, they missed the little mouse in the house inside. They got a switch, and Engsler had good position.
3-ball, rattles in and out. Edwards offensive board.
And that's a contested 3. I know Kentucky can get a better shot than that.
Now that's going to be a reach-in foul on Ryan Howard, and that will be Ryan's second.
Foul on the Wildcats, number 10, Ryan Howard, her second. Team foul.
I'm waiting for Ryan Howard to really break a sweat in this game, like really take over.
Just 3 of 10 so far, Debbie. She's got 6 rebounds, but
I mean, she's one of my ticket-selling players. Like, I bought a ticket to come see her play.
Louisville's been able to do a good job on her thus far. Pull up short, red jerseys around it, scooped up and in. Mikasa Robinson. Massengill, tough shot. That goes around and out. And a foul called on Kentucky. Quick shots, and a lot of them here in this third quarter for UK. Stay composed is the message right now from Kyra Elzy to her team.
Well, Kyra was a really good player for Pat Summit at Tennessee, and she has really evolved into this role in her second year as a head coach. I think she's done a phenomenal job taking over for Matthew Mitchell, the all-time winningest coach in the history of Kentucky basketball on the women's side.
Smith with the basket, timeout Kentucky. Leads up to 8. It's been as many as 10 today for Louisville.
This is just a great take by Smith. Push the ball in transition. Kentucky slow to match up. You got to sprint back and find your matchup. Not play transition defense at the level of the ball. You got to get ahead of the ball in transition defense.
.206 to go here in the third. Saturday on ESPN2. Got another good women's game for you. Debbie and I will be in Knoxville for Tennessee and the defending national champs. Saturday on ESPN2, 5:15 Eastern. As Stanford goes into the house of the 8-time national champs.
Tara Vanderveer, the all-time winningest coach in the history of women's basketball, has been working through a guard issue on the top of the floor. They've been turning it over, trying to find a rhythm, but they will fix it. You know, last year they won the national championship with Kiana Williams, their point guard, who was their leading scorer. You know what, Beth? It broke up my stat.
Oh, the stat you've had forever.
I've had the stat forever. No team in the history of women's college basketball has won the national championship with their leading scorer as their point guard.
Yes, and the caveat to that is
Diana Taurasi was not the point guard.
No, Maria Conlon.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
But
enjoy the veal. Tip your wait staff.
Stanford, Kiana Williams ruined it.
And she's the only one gone, right? Everybody else back.
That's part of their problem, though. They're adjusting to life without her. Sort of like Louisville on the offensive end, adjusting without a 20-point-per-game scorer and Dana Evans. That's why Jeff Wells went back to the playbook, and he's got a thick one now. He's got the ability. He's such a good game adjuster.
Well, it's interesting here, talking to the coaching staff. You look at the recent national champs, and quite a few of them are running the Princeton offense, and they decided, you know what, we might want to get on board with this a little bit.
Well, I remember a time when Gino Auriemma was the only one running it. And won a lot of national championships with a lot of great players running that system.
Worked for Muffet, worked for Tara.
When Muffet started running it, and Skylar Diggins and Kayla McBride, she was able to start beating them.
One sneaker off. A lost shoe for Kiana Smith. Now it's back on. Enksler going to work. Double comes. Finds the shooter on the weak side. Smith rejected by Edwards.
What a play by Edwards. What a read by Enksler out of the double team. I'm telling you, Kiana Edwards is tough inside. She's a gamer. You see why Ryan Howard loves playing with her.
Enksler. Smith keeps it alive. Kono pull up, 15-footer no. And Edwards snares another one. Double-digit rebounds for Dre. Transfer from Utah. Hunt, isolated on the right side, got it up and in, able to muscle it over Kono. And their first basket of this third quarter. Whistle and a foul.
Mikasa Robinson for Louisville's yet to really assert herself also. I mean, she's a right side of the box score kind of player for them. She rebounds, gets assists, steals, disruptive. She can impact a game without having the ball in her hands. And in an era right now with name, image, and likeness in the transfer portal, she's a star in her role.
Quite often their perimeter defensive stopper. Misses on the first shot. Just 50%. Again, not a lot of practice at the line during these games for Louisville. They average just 8 free throw attempts a night. And Neville now 4 of 6 here this afternoon. Kentucky just 8 of 14.
Let's keep an eye on that Ryan Howard, Mikasa Robinson matchup since they had a little scuffle in the first half, just a little rub.
Howard, short. She is now 3 for 11 in the game. And we head to the fourth in Louisville. The Cards over the Cats.
And it's made it tough for her, forced her to the outside. Kentucky is winning the battle on the glass by a slight margin. They've got 2 more points in the paint. Neither team has really shot free throws very well. Louisville hasn't gotten there very often.
One of the bigger crowds in the country for women's hoops this winter. 12,000 plus on hand at the KFC Young Center in Louisville for the Cats and the Cards. Beth Mowens, Debbie Antonelli. First game of our Jimmy V Women's Classic doubleheader. South Carolina, Maryland on deck. Louisville has won the last 4 matchups in this series, and a drive and a foul will get Chelsea Hall to the line. That defensive effort held Kentucky to just 6 points in that third quarter.
So here's how this game is going to finish, okay? Whoever plays more downhill here in the fourth quarter is going to have a better opportunity to win, because then you're going to put some pressure on the defenses in the paint to defend. You can get to the free throw line. If both these teams will just settle for jump shots, they're not going to win the game right now based on the way this game has gone to this point. So you better be aggressive, turn the corner, and try to get 2 feet in the paint to score.
Louisville now 5 of 8 from the stripe. Can Howard get it going? Here she is with the ball. Robinson defending. And a 6-point game. And a whistle and a foul on Kiana Smith.
Treasure Hunt pivots, faces up. There's one hand. There's a second hand. By rule, that's a foul.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Mikasa Robinson fighting over the top of that ball screen.
They force Howard to give up the ball and muscled up and in. Treasure Hunt and a foul. And is that 4 on Smith?
Check this out right here by Treasure Hunt. Watch her put Kiana Smith in the rim. Uses that big frame. 2 feet in the paint. 2 points with a chance to go to the line.
And the 4th foul on the starter, Kiana Smith. Hunt's 0 for 2 today. 1 possession game early in this 4th quarter. Haley Van Lith, just 1 of 7 from the floor so far. Can she get something going?
Only 1 shot, and it was the first shot to start the half. Good hustle by Chelsea Hall.
10 points for Hall. Leading scorer for Louisville, Robin Benton with 11, leading the way for the Cats. Van Lith, baseline, got it.
Great misdirection. I love that set. Jeff Walls pulls that out in the 4th quarter. We haven't seen that yet. How about the confidence in Haley Van Lith to clear it out and let her go?
Taken away, Robinson got it from Howard, and here's Exler all alone.
That is Mikasa Robinson inserting herself on the defensive end, stuffing that ball screen action.
Robinson all jacked up, and so's the crowd now. And a 7-point lead. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college. Oh, looking forward to watching that one. Coming up next, Louisville trying to pull away from Kentucky. They've scored 19 points off of 17 turnovers, and they have kept Ryan Howard in check. Just 3 of 11 shooting, 9 points. She gets a clean look here behind the screen and misses that one.
See, look, Robin Benton and Alana Smith are going at it now, a little bit on the block. You better screen hard, you better cut hard, you better meet your pass, you better jump to the ball.
Well, as they were mentioning in the studio earlier, Ryan Howard has never beaten Louisville. And
Yeah, the Cards have won
what will
4
be
in a
her
row.
last chance? Yes.
Right, 4 in a row.
They're going to say that was a shooting foul? Is that?
That's not a shooting foul.
No, Eric Bruton says, no, come on down here.
They're inbounding it.
3rd on Hall, by the way. Kiana Smith out of the game right now with 4.
Howard's going to get it back. That's usually the indicator when she inbounds it.
Hunt walked.
I like the idea, though. Treasure Hunt is a handful for Louisville to deal with on the interior right now, especially with this small 5-guard lineup, because I do consider Emily Engstler to be a guard.
Hall. And she is called for the travel.
You see that burst of speed right there? Well, we haven't seen that all game. Look at that quicks right there by Hall. Now you got to get back and play some D.
Offensive foul. Is that on Ryan Howard? It would be number 3.
We do not have flopping in our game, and that is a flop.
Yeah.
We need to add that to our game like the men have.
Yes,
There's no
we do.
penalty for that.
So they each took a foul initiated by the other, Robinson and Howard.
Yeah, she walked. She
And
traveled.
Another traveling call.
Even Treasure Hunt can bring the ball up the floor to initiate. Wow, I mean, she's going to be a bright young player in this league, in the SEC anyway. They're going to need her to be able to score in the post.
Edwards drops it off to Hunt. Got it.
Yeah, good recognition by Kyra Elsie and her staff right there to call that set, seeing the matchups, because Jeff Walls is staying small.
Van Lith, another turnover. She stepped on the end line.
Well, Haley Van Lith has just had what you would call a flat-out tough game. This is great action in the middle third of the floor where it's hard to bring any help. Although, you know, Kentucky's not that great of a three-point shooter, so you might want to pinch a little bit more.
And that was Haley's 6th turnover of the day. Let's see if they go back to this two-man here. Edwards going to take it herself this time. Into Engstler, got it, and a foul.
The last 3 baskets, 2 by Treasure Hunt and 1 by Edwards, have shown incredible toughness by Kentucky. Using their physicality right here. Rim, body, ball, bucket, and 1. You use your body to protect your defender from the ball. That's exactly what Edwards did.
Eight points, 11 rebounds now for Dre. 2-point game. Smith back on the floor here with the 4 fouls. The step back. And that will go to Kentucky with a chance to tie or grab the lead.
And Jeff Walls is, with his smaller lineup, is trying to speed up the tempo, and Kentucky has not been able to be sped up on the offensive end.
Benton sizes it up. Hunt off the bounce. And another trip to the line. They give him that to Engstler. That would be her 4th.
Well, we have not seen Olivia Cochran since she went to the bench after she hit her head, and she's sitting on the end of the bench with a towel over her head. And so Jeff Walls has to play with a smaller group here, and the size and physicality of Kentucky's front line is wearing them down.
Yeah, she came back briefly, and not many minutes since. And here is the free throw to tie it up.
And without Ryan Howard, who's 3 for 12, Kentucky has made this a tied game.
Engstler quick on the shot. Down by 10 in the first half. Kentucky came back to grab the lead. Down by 8 in the second half. And on a 7-0 run right now, looking to take the lead.
I keep running this action in the middle third right here. Oh, here's a steal
Picked.
by Hall.
Good defense by Hall. Snuck in the back door. Edwards forced that one. Got the miss. And a foul.
Well, everyone in the building wanted an over the back on this side of the floor. Every loose ball going Kentucky's way right now.
And that's going to be the 5th foul, I believe, on Kiana Smith.
There goes Louisville's top scorer at 11.5 points per game, Kiana Smith, to the bench.
They have held Ryan Howard scoreless in this second half, but the other Cats have picked up the slack. Let's revisit, should this have been an over the back?
Well,
no, that's after.
Yeah, that's after.
Van Lith gets it back. Gets the switch. Steps away from Hunt and hits. Here comes Benton. They've got numbers on the break. She'll pull up and rattle it in.
Got to have an awareness in transition defense. Good pull-up jumper by Benton.
Engstler looking for the back door with Hall. And they turn it over.
I tell you what, the pace I thought was favoring Louisville because they don't score like Kentucky does. Kentucky's #1 in the SEC, 84 points a game. But actually, the tempo has worked to Kentucky's advantage because they have been very good at executing on both ends of the floor. Even though they've turned the ball over some, Louisville has turned it over at in timely situations in a game where they have a chance to make a run. And there's a turnover right there by Kentucky.
Stolen by Engstler. A season high now, 21 turnovers for the Cats. But they're still within a point, under 4 to go. Hall into Howard, and Ryan got a piece. Edwards pull up on the break, and she's got it. And Kentucky goes up a point. And then Howard, boy, a foul way out on top. That's going to be her 4th.
See, I don't know why Ryan Howard would try to anticipate that right there and commit that foul.
Way out near midcourt.
Well, you have to trust her with 4.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to play her.
Benton, Hunt, and Edwards all in double figures for Kentucky today.
Look how far out on top of the floor Louisville's offense is. That's Kentucky's defense pushing them out.
Robinson. Little shake move. No. Edwards owning the glass. She's got 13. Good ball fake to the baseline, blocked by Engstler. The run out for Robinson. In the trail is Smith. Good. Crossover. Edwards drops it off for Benton, and it's blocked by Engstler. Cards will push. Van Lith.
Oh, here we go, baby. This is it right here. Game time. No slippage. Execution in the details. Be sharp with the ball. Cut hard.
The pick, the roll, the drop off. Under 2 to go. Ball in the 3-point lead. Smith, the hesitation, gets by Hunt for the layup. Kentucky.
Louisville playing downhill. Points in the paint here in the fourth quarter. You want to protect your home court, you got to be tougher down the stretch. Right here, Alana Smith. Part of the reason why Kyra Elzy pumped in crowd noise yesterday in practice, because it is loud in here.
Possession arrow is also with Louisville. They have the 3 timeouts remaining. Do they look to Howard? She's on the top of your screen, number 10 in blue. It's Edwards instead with a paint touch. And scoops it up and in.
You might call Ryan Howard a decoy in that situation. However, she's not even looking to be a factor or involved in that set. And I don't blame Kyra Elzy for going to Edwards. She's been terrific. So has Treasure Hunt here in the fourth quarter.
Final minute, Louisville looking for a 5th straight win in the rivalry. And the pull-up from Haley Van Lith.
After going 1 for 7, she's hit her last 4 shots.
Edwards tried for 3, races to clean it up, and the lay-in for Hunt. Here comes the press.
Yeah, Jeff Walsh doesn't want to advance the ball. He's going to use up some time here.
1 possession game, about an 8-second difference. Shot and game clock.
Kentucky does have a foul to give. They need to give it. It can't be Ryan Howard, though.
She just looked at her teammate and said, I've got 4, I can't do it. So Edwards will. Next one will send Louisville to the line. And now does Jeff Walls use a timeout? He does.
Yes, and so that gives Kyra Elzy a chance to organize her group defensively. So they've got a trap, steal, or foul right away. Or Kentucky, or Louisville's going to dribble out the clock. They needed a foul earlier because they had one to give. They needed to get themselves ready to get into the bonus. It took too long.
So big fourth quarter for Haley Van Lith, leading the way for the Cardinals.
Yeah, she's been terrific here late. The drive past Treasure Hunt. Turns the corner, gets to her spots. Started out 1 for 7, has made her last 4 shots. And when you're the kind of player that works so hard that your coaches have to lock you out of the gym and only let you work out 1 hour extra a day, you got to believe your work and the effort and all the reps that you put in are going to pay off in a moment like this. You got to make sure you come to the ball.
Louisville as a team, a 72% free throw shooting unit, but as we've talked about, they have not taken many free throws this year. And I believe Robin Benton may have just fouled out. That's her 5th.
Well, she didn't
Jada Walker will come on.
You could see, Kyra Elzy's looking at her like, you got to foul. And she didn't want to because, exactly, she didn't want to come out of the game.
Louisville is 5 of 8 at the line. Hall is 1 of 2.
But she hasn't missed coming into this game. That 11 for 11 from the line prior to today. That makes it a 2-possession game.
The 4-point lead for Louisville.
You got to make Kentucky come back to the ball here. You can't let it get beat over the top.
Howard looking for 3.
She got fouled.
She got bumped. Scrap for the loose ball. Held, and it will go to Louisville.
She got bumped from behind shooting a 3. You got to protect the shooter.
Enxler hits her from behind. And Kyra Elsie is really working the officials, and she is going to get a technical foul. Technical foul called on Elsie, 63-58 with 6 seconds to go.
I thought she got bumped from behind by Engstler, and so did Kyra Elsie, who could clearly see through that play. And so she's obviously upset. Now there's never a good time to get a technical, but certainly now isn't the time. She must have said something more than that was a foul, because otherwise most officials at that point in the game would say, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
You know.
And it will be Hall at the line. 14 of 15 on the season for Chelsea. Trying to feed off of that huge win for the volleyball team here at Louisville yesterday. They're undefeated going into the national semifinals. And they're trying to secure a rivalry win over Kentucky here. 6-point game, 6 seconds to play. And the inbound of Van Lith, and that'll do it.
What a finish for the Cardinals. What a terrific fourth quarter for Haley Van Lith. And the defense of Louisville at the rim.
(64-58) the final. Coming up, Maryland and South Carolina with Courtney Lyle and Carolyn Peck. I'm Beth Mowens along with Debbie Antonelli. Thanks for being with us. The Cards over the Cats.